Building an emergency fund is one of the smartest financial decisions you can make. Life is full of unexpected events like sudden medical bills, car repairs, or even losing a job. Having an emergency fund gives you a financial cushion to handle these surprises without going into debt. Many people feel difficulty when trying to start saving, but it doesn't have to be complicated. With a focused plan, you can build an emergency fund quickly and efficiently. So, in this video, we will give you step-by-step guidance on how you can build an emergency fund fast. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates. Let's get started. Number 10. Set a realistic savings goal. The first step in building your emergency fund is to set a clear and realistic goal. An emergency fund should ideally cover 3 to 6 months of your basic living expenses. This means you need to figure out how much you spend on essentials like rent, groceries, utilities, and transportation each month. Once you know your monthly expenses, multiply that by the number of months you want to cover. For example, if your monthly expenses are $2,000, you should aim for an emergency fund of $6,000 to $12,000. However, if that amount seems too large or overwhelming at first, start with a smaller target, such as saving $1,000. This gives you a manageable goal to work toward, and once you hit that, you can focus on building up to the larger amount. Setting a goal gives you a clear sense of direction and helps you stay motivated as you work toward financial security. Number 9. Keep your emergency fund in a separate account. To build an emergency fund quickly, you need to make sure the money is kept separate from your everyday spending. It's too easy to dip into your savings if it's sitting in your regular checking account. That's why it's important to open a dedicated savings account just for your emergency fund. Having this separation makes it easier to track your progress and keeps the money out of sight until you really need it. When choosing a savings account, look for one that is easily accessible in case of an emergency, but isn't linked to your debit card for everyday spending. Ideally, a high-yield savings account would be a good option, as it offers higher interest rates than a regular savings account. This means your money will grow a little faster while it sits in the bank. Number 8. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. Saving quickly requires you to make some temporary changes to your spending habits. One of the most effective ways to free up extra money for your emergency fund is to reduce your non-essential expenses. This doesn't mean you need to cut out all the fun from your life, but small changes can make a big difference. For example, if you eat out several times a week, try cooking more meals at home. Not only is it healthier, but it can also save you a significant amount of money. Similarly, consider cutting back on things like streaming services, unnecessary subscriptions, or impulse shopping. While these cuts may feel inconvenient at first, remember that they are temporary. Once you've built up your emergency fund, you can adjust your spending again. By being more mindful of where your money is going, you can redirect those savings into your emergency fund much faster. Number 7. Automate your savings. A great way to build an emergency fund quickly is to automate your savings. By setting up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account, you ensure that you're saving consistently without even thinking about it. Most banks offer the option to set up regular automatic transfers so you can decide how much and how often you want to save. Even if you can only afford to transfer a small amount like $25 or $50 each week, these amounts add up over time. Automating your savings takes away the temptation to spend the money and helps you stay on track with your goal. You won't have to rely on willpower because the money is saved for you automatically. Number 6. Increase your income. In addition to cutting back on spending, finding ways to increase your income can help you build your emergency fund even faster. There are many ways to bring in extra money, even if it's just a temporary boost. You could start by selling things you no longer need. Look around your home for items like clothes, electronics, or furniture that you can sell online or at a garage sale. It's a quick way to raise extra cash that can go directly into your emergency fund. Another option is to take on a side job or freelance work. Many people pick up extra income by driving for ride-sharing services, delivering groceries, or freelancing in areas like writing or graphic design. If you have a hobby or skill, consider turning it into a side hustle. For example, if you're good at photography or making crafts, you can sell your work online. The extra income you make can make a significant difference in how quickly you reach your savings goal. Number 5. Save any unexpected cash. Whenever you receive unexpected money, such as a tax refund, work bonus, or even cash gifts, put that money directly into your emergency fund. These windfalls can give your savings a big boost without affecting your regular budget. Instead of using that extra cash to treat yourself to something new, resist the temptation and save it instead. For example, if you get a $1,000 tax refund, that's already a huge step toward your emergency fund goal. Putting windfalls like this into savings accelerates your progress and helps you reach your goal much faster than relying solely on your monthly income. Number 4. Focus on debt, but prioritize savings. If you have existing debt, it's important to balance paying down that debt while building your emergency fund. It's tempting to throw all your extra money toward debt, but if you don't have any savings set aside, you might end up relying on more debt when an emergency happens. To avoid this, focus on setting aside some money for your emergency fund while still paying off your debt. Once you've reached your initial emergency fund goal, such as $1,000, you can then put more effort into paying down high-interest debt. By having at least a small emergency fund in place, you'll be protected in case of an unexpected expense without needing to rely on credit cards or loans. Number 3. Stick to a budget. One of the key strategies for building an emergency fund quickly is sticking to a budget. A budget helps you track your income and expenses, so you know exactly where your money is going each month. With a clear budget, you can identify areas where you might be overspending and make adjustments to free up more money for savings. For example, if you notice you're spending more than you expected on entertainment or shopping, you can set limits in those categories. Budgeting also ensures that you're setting aside money for your emergency fund consistently. By controlling your spending and prioritizing savings, you'll build your emergency fund much faster. Number 2. Track your progress. As you work toward building your emergency fund, it's important to track your progress. Keeping an eye on how much you've saved can be motivating and help you stay focused on your goal. Every time you add to your emergency fund, take a moment to check your balance and see how close you are to reaching your target. Tracking your savings also helps you adjust your approach if needed. For example, if you're not saving as quickly as you'd like, you can revisit your budget or find additional ways to boost your income. Seeing your emergency fund grow is a great reminder of why you're saving in the first place: financial security and peace of mind. Number 1. Stay disciplined and consistent. Building an emergency fund quickly requires discipline. It can be tempting to use extra money for things you want, but staying focused on your goal will help you in the long run. Remember that this process is temporary, and the effort you put in now will pay off when you have a financial cushion for emergencies. Stay consistent with your savings plan, even when it feels slow. Every bit of progress counts, and over time, those small amounts will grow into a solid emergency fund. The security of knowing you're prepared for unexpected expenses is worth the effort. Remember, it's all about setting clear goals, cutting unnecessary expenses, and staying consistent. Do you already have an emergency fund, or are you just getting started? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more tips on saving and managing your money. Thank you.